السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله رب ولي الصالحين وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين. اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن دعا بدعوته واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد، فأوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل والسمع والطاعة. ويقول الحق سبحانه: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون. All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds. And I bear witness that Allah is the friend and protector of the righteous. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his servant, his last messenger. May Allah constantly, always send peace and blessings to Muhammad, to his family, to his companions, and all those who call to his way and establish his sunnah to the day of judgment. As to what follows, I begin by reminding myself of the critical importance of the consciousness of Allah. That we should be aware of Allah in all that we do, whether we are in the masjid, on special occasions, or in everyday life. We should never forget that there is one who is almighty in knowledge and strength and is aware of all things. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed to us in his mighty book, O you who believe, have the consciousness of Allah, and let every soul look to what it put forward for tomorrow and fear Allah. Surely Allah is well aware of all that you do. And be not as those who forgot Allah And so he made them forget themselves. Surely they are the disobedient ones. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed to us in this divine revelation critical information, light that we can use in the time of darkness. And we are living, no doubt, in a time of confusion, uncertainty. And the greatest blessing that we have as Muslims is our faith. It is to be able to hold on to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be able to have that guidance that will be with us no matter what is happening in the world. O you who believe, we are witnessing in the world a great struggle. There is a struggle of light and darkness, truth and falsehood. There is a physical struggle going on in the world, but there is also a hidden battle of the hearts. And this battle for the hearts may be the most crucial aspect of the war against Islam. And so as Muslims in these times, we need to take the words of Allah very seriously. And Allah has revealed to us in Surah Al-Baqarah, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu udkhulu fi silmi kaffa wa la tattabi'u khutuwati shaitan innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. Allah has revealed, O you who believe, enter into Islam wholeheartedly, completely, and do not follow the footsteps of the evil one. For he is to you an open enemy. Allah told us, enter into Islam kafa, completely, all aspects of our life. And so that means not only just when Ramadan comes, we enter into Islam completely. We fast, we have suhoor, we have iftar, we have imsak. Outside of Ramadan, in our business, at school, with our friends, in society, we need to now tighten up our faith. We need to tighten up our belief so that all aspects of our life are under the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, warned us that a time would come when it would not only be the major issues, but there would be other things that would be affecting us silently, quietly. In the Arafat sermon, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, in the last Hajj, the Prophet is reported to have said, O people, beware of Satan for the safety of your religion. He has lost all hope that he will be able to lead you astray in big things, so beware of him in small things. This is a deep message. He has given up. He's not going to stop our kalima. He's not going to destroy our Kaaba. But in the small things that we do, we need to be aware. In Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in describing this evil plan of the shaitan, tells us, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Innama ya'murukum bis-su'i wal-fahsha wa an taqulu 'ala Allahi ma la ta'lamun. Verily, the evil one incites you with evil things, with immorality, and to say about Allah that which you know not. 3 categories here, divinely given to us, so that we could protect ourselves in these times. As-su', that evil. And su' is also described as being, when it is attached to other words, it has a lot of meaning to it. Su'adhan, if you say suspicion. Su'as suluk, if you have bad character. So this evil, this badness can affect us in many ways, and that is one of the traps that is coming to us today in so many ways. Fahsha, immorality. But fahsha can also mean atrocities, crimes. And so the evil one is inciting us, commanding us to commit atrocities, to be involved in crime. And this is so important in the battle for the hearts. And we, as the community, many of us who have come to these lands from other parts of the world, we feel that when you are in a country, you need to be like the people in the country. And no doubt about it. We have come to a country like Canada, and we need to enforce within ourselves justice and peace, and to deal with people in a reasonable way in our society. But that does not mean, like the ancient proverb, when in Rome, do like the Romans do. It does not mean that. If there are issues which are against our way of life, which are destructive to our being and destructive to society, then we need to oppose them. Al-batil, falsehood. And even Christian leaders at this time of year, because we are in a confusing time of year, the sights and symbols now coming around us in the winter solstice. We are in the darkest point of the year, the coldest time of the year. And so there are symbols coming at us, signs coming at us. People want joy, people want happiness, people want the sun to come back. But the Christian leaders have said, when we tell our children lies about the existence of fantasies like Santa Claus, we introduce them to the sin of deception. This is a Christian talking. We introduce the children to deception, that they begin to believe in things which are not real, and that opens up the door to deception in their whole life. And the Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said, "Inna bayna yaday as-sa'a kadhabin fahdhuruhum." That in the coming of the last hour, there will be great liars. Beware of them. Take God in front of them. And so these confusing signs that we are in, they are telling us it is the last month of the solar year. So they say we're ending the year and we're beginning the year in January. But when you look at the number octo, means 8, October, and novem means 9 in Latin, November, and decem means 10 in Latin, December. December is the 10th month of the lunar year. Batil, falsehood, because the real new year in the solar calendar is in March, because that is when the spring comes. And according to people who follow the cycles of the weather and nature, new life is coming in March, not in December. And so deception is on. They tell us that that Isa alayhi salam was born on December 25th. But when we study the scriptures, when we read Christian theologians, they recognize along with us that he was born in the warm weather. And Maryam, may Allah be pleased with her, was told to shake the date palms. Ripe dates will come to you. The ripe dates come at the end of the summer, beginning of the fall. And the Christians also, if you check them out closely, they know he wasn't born in this time. The deception continues. Who was Jesus? Isa alayhi salam for us is one of the most important prophets of those 124,000. A mighty messenger of Allah. A human being mentioned 25 times in the Quran as Isa. Mentioned 11 times in the Quran as Al-Masih. Mentioned 23 times in the Quran as Ibn Maryam. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in Surah Ali Imran at least 83 verses to clear up the misunderstanding with what they did with Isa alayhi salam and what they did to his name. 83 verses in this mighty chapter. And so we recognize that Isa alayhi salam was a human being. And Allah Azza wa Jal revealed to us in His Quran, "Bal Masih ibn Maryam illa rasulun qad khalat min qablihi rusul wa ummuhu siddiqa kana ya'kulan at-ta'am undur kayfa nubayyin lahum al-ayat thumma undur anna yufakun." Allah revealed to us that Jesus was nothing more than a messenger. Many messengers had come and gone before him. His mother was a woman of truth. They both used to eat food. See how we make the signs clear to them, yet how they are deluded from the truth. They are deluded from the truth. They will live in a deception. That's what Allah said. He said, "Kana ya'kulani ta'am." They ate food. And so by eating food, that means you're hungry. You are a human being. How can you say you are the God or the Son of God? Wal iyadhu billah. Look how they strayed away from the truth. The disciples, Hawariyin, the followers of Isa alayhi salam, An-Nasara, the Nazarenes, the Jews of Nazareth. After Jesus was raised, and we believe he was not killed, they held on to the truth in the best way they possibly could. But they were struggling against a tidal wave of paganism. And when we say pagan, we mean wathaniyah, mushrikeen, the belief in Trinity, the belief in the many gods of the Greeks and the Romans. And as the message spread with the introduction of weakness with Paul, who opened up the door to bid'ah or innovation in their religion, other beliefs crept into Christianity. And people say, well, who was born on December 25th then, if it wasn't Jesus? There are many names, but the strongest historically is the name of Mithras. And Mithras was part of a Persian cult that spread into Rome and all over the Mediterranean region. And they used to believe that he was born of a virgin birth on December 25th. He sacrificed himself for humanity. He was crucified and buried in a tomb. He was resurrected. Now think about this. This is before the time of Jesus. That was their belief. His holy day was the seventh day, not the Sabbath. It was Sunday. And so this concept, this cult, then entered into Christianity. The rituals of the Saturnalia, which is held around this time, it's the winter solstice for Saturn. They want the sun to return. And so they used to have drunken orgies and festivals and commit all types of immorality. Remember, the struggle, immorality, su' wal fahsha, evil, immorality. And it continued up to the north, the feast of the 12 nights, the Germanic feast, the Druids of the north. And so they began to carry on with their festivals. And so what we know as Christmas we see now was a Roman intervention to mix the teachings of Jesus with Wathaniyah, with paganism. And so the trees, the mistletoe, the Yule log, the giving presents, hanging stockings, Santa Claus, who was nothing like St. Nicholas. The original St. Nicholas was a very thin, austere man who lived in Turkey, in Asia Minor. He used to give to children. Nothing to do with St. Nicholas. It was confused and then put together, to the point where by 1647, the Christian church in the UK banned Christmas. They would not allow it to be celebrated up until reaching America. For 150 years in America, Christmas was not celebrated. And it is only the materialism, when materialism took back over. And this is what we see today in the place of the teachings of Isa alayhi salam, who was a humble person, who did not wear shoes most of the time, who believed in the spiritual aspects of faith. It has been superseded by a pagan ritual. And we say, what is wrong with this? It is wrong, as even the Christians said. If you allow your children to believe in a fantasy, then you're opening up the door of deception. They will believe that the presents that are being given to them is not their parents. It's somebody who came down their chimney. And the chimneys of millions of people around the world, fantasy. And so for believers, for Muslims, be aware of this, as the Prophet ﷺ said. There would be great liars near the end of time. فَاحْذُرُوهُمْ. Beware of them. And the Prophet ﷺ said very clearly, Inna likulli umma fitna, wa fitnatu ummati al-mal. Every nation has a trial and a test. And the trial and test of this nation is wealth. And so they are playing with the minds of people with their wealth, going out in the midst of a pandemic. And the person said on the newscast today, he was asked, why are you out now? Why are you going through the crowds? Why are you risking this with the Omicron moving around? He said, it's Christmas. A delusion that he is in. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the beautiful story of Isa alayhi salam. He has given us the undiluted, the clear truth. May Allah Azza wa Jal help us to hold on to this truth and to protect our younger children, our generations, from the lies and deceptions. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clear up these deceptions in the general population and guide the people of this society to the last revelation. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب استغفروا إنه هو غفور رحيم. الحمد لله الواحد الأحد الفرد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد وأصلي وأسلم على سيد الأولين والآخرين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد فيا عباد الله اتقوا الله حيثما كنتم ويقول الحق سبحانه مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وارض الله عن الخلفاء الراشدين أبو بكر عمر عثمان وعلي وعنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين عباد الله يرحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله